This video is a very brief look at how to create a basic material color on an object's surface. A more detailed look at how to apply materials and textures will be covered in a future group of videos. Unlike the other colors we can apply to an object using, say, matte cap. When a material is applied to an object, that surface finish will appear in the final render of our scene. To see an object's material, the 3D viewport must be in either Material Preview mode or Rendered mode. In Material mode, Blender uses the Eevee render engine to create an image in the 3D viewport. When we are in Rendered mode, we can select between the Eevee engine or the Cycles engine. The choice is available from the Properties Editor's Render Properties page. Although the Cycles render engine gives a more accurate display in final render, it is also much slower than Eevee. The default cube is created with a material already assigned. This material is assigned the imaginative name of Material. Since this material is a light gray color, there's no great difference in its appearance between the 3D viewport's various display modes. When we create additional objects, they are not assigned a material. To assign a material to the selected object, we need to start by selecting the Materials page in the Properties Editor, then clicking on New. This creates a large selection of new entries on the page. At the very top is the name of the selected item, and the name of the material being assigned to it. The material's name is Material.001. The material's name is also shown in the list of materials assigned to this object. Of course, at the moment the sphere only has the one material, and in this video we will not be assigning it additional ones. Further down, the material name appears yet again. We can edit the name in either of these two locations, giving it a more meaningful identification. Coming further down the list, we come to the three parameters that we will be adjusting in this video. The first of these, Base Color, allows us to select the material's color. We'll choose a red color to match our material's new name. Next, we come to Metallic, and although it has a slider value, which can be set between 0 and 1, it really makes more sense to just use those two values and nothing in between. Use 0 for non-metals and 1 for metals. Finally, we have Roughness. This is an indication of the reflectiveness of the surface. Use 0 for a mirror-like finish on metals and 1 for the roughest of surfaces, and any value between to get the look you are after. With Metallic set to 1 and Roughness to 0, we should get a mirror-like finish. But it may turn out looking rather dull. The problem here is that our shiny surface has nothing to reflect. If we go to the Viewport Shadings options, we'll see that the Scene World box is checked. That means that Blender is expecting us to supply the image of the environment surrounding our scene, the High Dynamic Range, Imaging, or HDRI. But if we uncheck the box, Blender will offer us a few default ones. As we adjust the roughness value, the reflected image becomes less focused. And if we set Roughness to 0 and Metallic to 0, we get a shiny plastic effect. If we want to render our finished scene, the first thing we need to do is make sure the render camera is pointed at the area we want to appear in the final image. The simplest way to do this is to display the sidebar by pressing N, and in the View page, select the Camera to View checkbox. Now, when we press 0 on the numpad to see the aspect from the render camera, we can adjust the view using the same mouse options that we use to make adjustments in the 3D viewport. Next, we'll select which render engine we want to use, choosing Cycles if we want the best result. In the main menu at the very top of the Blender window, we need to select Render, then Render Image. Alternatively, we can just press F12. If we are expecting to see reflections in the sphere, we are going to be disappointed. The HDRI images available in the Blender package will not appear in the final render. If we want to see reflections, we need to use our own HDRI. Since HDRIs are not the type of image we can create with a standard camera, we need to download them from a website. Luckily, there are many sites that offer free HDRIs, such as Polyhaven.com. Once we have downloaded an image, we need to go back to the Viewport Shading panel and select the Scene World checkbox. Then go to the World page in the Properties Editor. Click on the yellow circle beside Color and choose Environment Texture. Back in the World page, we must select Open and specify the background picture we want to use. Once our image is loaded, we can try the rendering process again. This time we not only have the reflection in the sphere, but also the background image itself. To omit the image and have a transparent background, we need to choose the Properties Editor's Render page, and, after expanding the Film heading, check Transparent. Once we have the render image we want, we can save it by selecting Image, Save As, and then specify the file type, location, and name.